Ladies and gentlemen, how are you doing today? My name is Tony Rosano, and this is Online Marketing Moves. This is episode 171. Today is January the 8th, 2021, at the time of this recording, and we are coming to you live from the great city of Charlotte, North Carolina. And ladies and gentlemen, good news and bad news. The bad news is I'm going to have to stop saying we're coming live from, because after today, we will only be coming live to you from Atlanta, Georgia. So that'll get old after the first 3 days. So we won't say that anymore. But I'm very excited to be going home. I am very excited to start the whole process of moving on from this job, this line of work, to being self-employed, running a business, and doing things my way. I am very excited about that. But anyway, today on the podcast, we are going to discuss a couple of different things. One is running your own business. And the first thing we're going to discuss very briefly is, I record this podcast and I put it on Twitter. I have not yet. I'm going to start, though. I got to start putting it on Facebook, because the more eyeballs, of course, you see, the more eyeballs you show people your content, the more likely they're going to click on it and give it a chance. And that's all you want to do. It doesn't matter what you say, how you say it. The most important thing is you want people to see the information that you are putting out. You want people to see the content. The more people to see your content, the more likely you are to get a listener, and a follower. So the more you do that, the more people will see it. So yesterday, I got to thinking, when I do the podcast, I upload them, and then I normally share them on Twitter. I normally put them on Twitter. Then I use hashtags. And yesterday I said, you know what? I'm going to use a hashtag that's trending. Because I did discuss the stuff that happened in Washington. So I went with the hashtag something to do with Washington. Then yesterday I just happened to look. I had a couple likes, and I had a couple retweets of the podcast, and then like 500 people saw the post or whatever. And I said, oh, that's good. And I said, oh, I need to do more of that. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is why I say put the content wherever, however. Make sure people see it. The more people see it, the more chance you got. The more present you are, the more, the more people see you, the more attraction you will get, the more, the faster you can get people to start reading your content, liking your content, and the faster you can move on with, of course, the more they see your content, if they like the content, the more money you'll make from all that. And the faster your business will grow, the faster you can get, to where you want to go. Now, that's that. Second thing we are going to talk about reason number 1,000 why you and I want to work for ourselves, okay? All this week, I was supposed to transfer jobs this Monday or Tuesday, one of the two. So this week, I'm thinking, talking to the guy, talking to my boss, and he's like, oh, we'll get you out of here early, This was Monday. Oh, we'll get you out here. We'll get you home Wednesday, Thursday, or whatever. Here we are Friday, I went from, I forgot where I went to. Then I had to go up towards Pennsylvania. I had to go all the way up to Pennsylvania just to come back down, and then they waited till Friday, and then they are supposed to provide me with transportation home, but they even are waiting around a long time for that. So I just got my own I just got my own transportation home. Just gonna drive home myself. Not worry about that, and just get reimbursed, because I don't want to wait around. I want to get home as quick as possible. I have things to do this weekend. So it got me to thinking. And then last night when I was finishing up my load, dropping off the last load, there was a lady. And normally when I come to this place, normally it's just a simple drop of the trailer, then I mosey on. But this lady, she said, I don't know. She said, these people been yelling at me all night. She said, let me do the let me scan the paperwork, let me call it in, let me send an email. And she said, I can't wait to go home so I can be the boss of myself. And I said, you know what? I said, you are your own boss when you're at home, right? She said, yep. And I said, this is true. This is very true. So for me, it's not, of course, I've been an employee ever since I was 16. I worked for somebody. There's nothing wrong with that. It's not a bad thing. It's not an evil thing, as some people try to put it, But one thing that I am looking forward to when I work for myself is, one, of course, I'm going to work just as hard. And it's amazing how some people, they get the attitude that when they work for themselves, they can do what they want to do, and then they kind of get lazy, But you don't want to get lazy. You want to work just as hard or harder, Because I work very hard at my line of profession. I work very hard. So I'm going to take the same energy I have when it comes to driving trucks, working 12, 13 hours a day. I'm going to put that into my business. Of course, I can be a little flexible and do a little traveling with my online business, but you still have to keep your eye on the prize. You still have to make sure that you are generating income while you are on these vacations, while you are on, you got to make sure that you have enough money to cover your medical and all that good stuff. So you definitely should work hard, but and some things are going to be annoying and some things are not. It's not. What I'm saying is, I know there's a romance about working for yourself, being self-employed, doing your own thing, being on your own time and everything like that. And that is true. There's great things about it. But the one thing that I look forward to about working for myself full time is the little petty stuff that these companies do. Like, hey, we'll get you home Wednesday, and it's Friday, and it's Friday morning, and they still have not secured me a way home. And it's like, are you kidding? We're like, what are you gonna do? Get me home Saturday? Get me home Sunday? Like, I have nothing to do. I have nothing but time on my hands. I am done with everything I'm supposed to do. Why are we still messing around? And if you could have secured the transportation Wednesday, you could have secured the transportation Thursday. And it's not like we didn't know that I was transferring. This has been 3 weeks in the making, 3 or 4 weeks in the making now. So this is not something new. This is not, like a surprise. This is not a shock. Like, we already know that we are transitioning. But see, that's the problem. When you work for somebody, they really, most of the well, I can't speak for you, but I know for me, the line of work that I'm in, they don't give two hoots about you. The one time they care about, the one time they, quote, show you some affection, as they say, show you some attention, is when you first sign on to the job, and they'll bring you in for this. They do it in truck driving. It's an orientation, so 3 or 4 days. They're like, "Oh, you're the best driver. We love you. We love drivers." Blah 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 blah. It's all great and everything, but as soon as you get into the truck, they're like, "All right, driver. What's your name? What's your driver number? Okay. Yeah, to go deliver that load. All right." And you're like, Do we get this? They're like, oh no, just keep driving. Get out of here. Basically. So it's it's crazy. And then when you quit, that's when there's because as you well documented this week, I probably said this quite a bit, but 6 to 12 months, I'm done with this. Okay, but so one day I'm gonna go. Now I'll be working out of Atlanta. I'm gonna go to the office one day, and I'm gonna say, oh, I gotta put in my 2-week notice. Man, that's it. I'm getting on up out of here. They're gonna say, well, why you want to quit for? Why you don't want to work here? I'm saying, self-employed, man, full time, man. I got a business I'm running. They're gonna say, and then they'll probably try to offer me some more money, or they'll try to offer me something to keep me around. But of course, I'm gonna say, hey, listen, no more trucking, no more for me, okay? I'm good, thank you, but no thank you. But that's how it's gonna go, and those are the 2 times they care. And the lady yesterday, she was kind of frazzled, she was just like, I can't wait to go home. And she said it like 3 times. She's like, I'm the boss at home. I'm the boss at home. I'm the boss at home. And I'm like, this lady's really annoyed. So that just got me to thinking. I was like, yeah, they don't really, there's nothing wrong with being an employee, but at the same time, the care, this is not the 50s. People don't really, they're like, all right, anyway, whatever. They're like, what? You staying at a job for 50 years, those days are over. They'll pack up their bags and move to another country, or they'll close the plant, or they'll do whatever, It's the only job I had where I knew they won't close down is when I worked at the prison. And the prison definitely back then didn't give a flying what about what you did, where you was going, or what. All they wanted to know is you coming in at your certain amount of time. All right, we'll see you then. Do your 8 hours and get out of here. And I remember one year somebody said, "Did we get a ham or something like that?" And they said, "What?" No, they said, "You know what you get? A paycheck. Now get out of my face. Get out of here." But anyway, so yeah, so yes, there is some. I know there's a lot of people now that don't want to work for people, but they go about it the wrong way. They go about it, and it's like, if you're floating around, and because it's sort of like, I see these people, they drive the Lyft for like 60, 70 hours, and I'm like, but I'm doing it on my own time. It's like, you're still kind of working for somebody, just not getting the benefits. Me personally, when I'm full-time working for myself, I'm going to make sure that I make, of course, the same amount of money that I do now, and I can afford it's on the regular. Once I have a number that I want to hit. I'm not quite there yet, but once I hit it, boom. I told my wife, 2 months in a row, I'm gone. I might even tell her I'm gonna reduce it to 1 month. 1 month, I'm gone. You know what I mean? But anyway, so that is reason number 1,000 for me why I can't wait to be self-employed. Like I said, we both know people romanticize it. People, I do what I want to do. I go where I want to go. Listen, you still want to make money. You still want to make, you still want to sustain what you are doing. So of course, you put in some work. I know everybody fell in love with Tim Ferriss and the 4-hour work week, but I'm pretty sure even Tim Ferriss doesn't work just 4 hours. He delegates a lot of his stuff. I mean, that was a part of the book. If it's something that he couldn't do or something he didn't want to do, he would have somebody else do it, which I definitely, when you start bringing in more income, I would pass some of that stuff off to people too, because every part of your business is like a detail. It's sort of like when I do these podcasts, I need somebody to write notes on the show, or I need somebody to transcribe what I say, so that way other people can read it, or if they can't hear, then they can see it for themselves. That's what I need. So so that way I can read it. Because although of course I'm gonna work very hard, at the same time I don't want to work 18 hours because first off, you're not gonna when it comes to your business, you learn how to do everything, but you're not going to be great at everything. And you don't want to be great at everything, because that way, then you'll be working 24 hours a day. You don't want to do that. So sometimes you might have to delegate. But we'll get into that at another time. The point of this episode was just to talk about why a couple of examples of why people, or why we all want to work for ourselves. Because employers in the year, especially in these times, like I said, this is not the 60s, this is not the 70s, and this ain't even the 80s. Okay, more employees now, they like, yeah, we're cutting back on you. Okay, and especially as you get older and you start making more money, you'll be the first one to get cut. Okay, keep that in mind, boys and girls. When you keep that in mind. Anybody that's in the 20s, in the early 30s, when you get to the age of 50, 55, you'll start generating a lot of money. And if these people start struggling and it's time for budget cuts, you're the first one to go. You'll be the first one to go. I just read an article. I used to listen to this radio station in Atlanta. I think it was 790 The Fan, and they started struggling during the pandemic, and of course they cut two people, and two people were like two of the highest paid people on the staff, and then they brought in the other talent, the younger talent that they wasn't paying a lot to fill in for to do these radio shows, so they don't have to pay them as much, and they can get they don't have to pay them as much, and they get content out of them. So this is another reason why, if you don't do anything, if you don't want to run a full-time business, this is why at least you should save income, you should invest, you should do something, because there's always, I'm all about positivity, but there are rainy days, there are storms you go through, and you want to be prepared, financially prepared for them. All right. So that's it for the podcast. I gotta get down the highway, everybody. I am very excited to start the journey. I am more excited about, and I keep thinking about this every day, I am more excited about building this podcast studio. I am going to build this podcast studio. I am going to take a picture for you, and I'm going to post it somewhere, and then I want you to check it out. And from me to you, I know sometimes when the first thing I thought, I'll end on this. The first thing I thought when I started doing this podcast, and I was thinking, how's it going to sound from the back of an 18-wheeler? How's the audio going to be? How's the this going to be? How's the that going to be? I was thinking, are people going to listen to me because I'm talking to them from the truck? And I thought about that, and I said, you know what? Of course, I said, why not? But for me, I know you don't care, but for me, it's weird, because I guess I've been doing this for 15 years. See, no, this is probably about year 16, and for the most part, I have just been sort of always gone from home, over the road, or if not full blown over the road, like coming home on weekends and stuff like that. Never really on a daily basis. You know, a couple of times, but not too much. So I'm excited to start this new chapter, and I look forward to giving you better content, more content. Yeah. Better content and more content. We're going to do a lot more content producing now because I am very focused. I've gotten one step done because I tell you, well, it don't matter. But I'm excited. And that's it. That's it for the podcast, ladies and gentlemen. We are getting out of here. Remember, let's do a recap. Remember, everybody, when you do your content, upload it in as many places as possible. Okay? Upload it on all social media sites if you can. Even if it's just a snippet. Do the snippet and tell people and say, hey, you know, come check out this, come check out that. Doesn't matter. You know, on Instagram, give them a snippet, you know, post it on Facebook, do it on the Twitter, do it wherever you can. Do it in your email group, send all your content, do all your content and send it to as many places as possible. Send it to as many people as possible. Let the whole world hear it. I'm telling you, the faster you do that, the more content you produce, the more you get people to listen to it, the more traction people will find to you, the more listeners, the more followers, the more whatever you would get, the more your business will run faster. You will make more, all the money. So you'll make 20 times as much money as me, but I won't be mad at that. And then you will be able to mosey on and get out of your, you know, I won't say 9 to 5, because really, how many people work 9 to 5? I don't know anybody. You know what's funny? People in online marketing, they love to say 9 to 5. They say, you know, you want to quit that 9 to 5. And I used to always think, who works 9 to 5 actually? I want to meet these people. I don't know these people. Me myself, I work 12 hours, 14 hours, you know. I know some people that work, you know, I got a brother, he works night shift, you know, and a mother who works night shift for a long time. I think, well, my dad, he works 7:30 to 3:30, but these days, my 67-year-old father has been working overtime for the last year, which he's been working like 12 hours, 16 hours, and I'm like, amazing, Grandpa, okay? But anyway, enough of all that. I hope you enjoyed this episode of the podcast. My name is Tony Rizzano. We will be back tomorrow with another outstanding episode. But until then, I will talk to you later. And as always, everybody, peace.